Hello everyone, this is Raven here with another gameplay battle replay of the Empire vs. Chaos. So for my front line, you can actually see that I brought 3 units of swordsmen right here, and then another in the back to help plug up any holes. And this is actually the Regiment of Renown variety, the Sigmar Sons with the Unbreakable. And in the back you can see I actually have 2 units of great swords on either flank, and 1 supporting the front line. Over here in the middle, another unit of Greatsword with a Grey Wizard in the middle with the Occam's Mind Razor, which actually provides a 44% damage buff and 36% extra armor piercing damage. Over here you can see I actually brought the Amber Wizard on his special Griffin, and I gave him Weisson's Wild Form with 22% weapon damage plus 30 armor. And then Karl Franz over here, who's actually going to be an absolute he's going to be a monster in this battle. Let's just put it like that. He's got both his legendary items, and that's going to give him extreme melee buffs whenever I put him into the combat, especially when we're buffed by any magic. In the back, I have 2 units of Demigryph Knights with halberds, one being the Regiment of Renown variety, able to cause terror. And over here for my opponent's army, you can see they actually brought 6 units of Chaos Marauders, just absolutely beefed up to the maximum. Not quite, not the maximum, but, you know, he put 3 chevrons on each of them, so they're going to be doing some pretty good work in the front line. 28 weapon damage, 38 melee attack, 31 melee defense, 70 leadership, so they're going to be able to hold the front pretty well. And back here, 2 units of Chaos Spawn with 150 weapon damage each, Unbreakable, and Cause Fear. So they're going to be able to lay the absolute smackdown in the front line. They're going to be able to teleport my low armor swordsman. So that's going to be a little bit unfortunate for me and good for my opponent. In the back here, you can see that he has 4 units of Chaos Warriors with great weapons who are going to be able to trade quite efficiently, I would say, with my great sword units if I don't buff them up with any magic. And in the back over here, you can see 1 unit of Chaos Knights, and over here, way in the flank, another Chaos Knights, hoping to get some, perhaps a flank or a rear charge off. And then for my opponent's Lord, he actually brought Prince Sigvald with Foe Seeker, the Deadly Onslaught, and Stand or Die. So he didn't, in fact, bring the legendary item, the Auric Armor, so he doesn't have any regeneration today. So that is a little bit unfortunate for him. So we'll have to see what happens when I lay in with Big Karl Franz on him and my Amber Wizard over here. I just think this model is absolutely beautiful. It's one of my favorite models in the entire game. The Amber Wizard over here with its beautiful Griffin, and the Royal Altdorf Griffites over here with their snow leopard patterns and electric blue eyes. I think this is also another beautiful model created by Creative Assembly. They're doing a wonderful job with this game. So this game is absolutely gorgeous. We're going to go ahead and pull in these Demigryphs over here to the flank and start supporting them with Karl Franz and the Amber Wizard, because I really just want to get rid of these Chaos Knights, because initially this is all I saw. I only saw this 1 unit of Chaos Knights over here, and I thought if I could get rid of these guys, that would just be so perfect. I'd just be able to run down the line with all my cavalry. Then I was like, oh shit, over here we have another unit of Chaos Knights who are currently engaged on my Royal Altdorf Griffites, but I think they have some sort of weird command, and I think they started targeting somebody too far away, and I actually get a charge off on them, and they don't get a charge off on me. They just ran straight into me without trying to attack, and you can see they're absolutely being shredded apart, only being engaged for a few seconds, already down to half HP. This was an absolutely devastating engagement for him. So sad, so sad. These Chaos Knights are going to absolutely get destroyed, so that's rather unfortunate for my opponent. Over here in the front line, you can see that these Chaos Spawn are going to come in and absolutely put the beat down on these poor swordsmen, as you can see, bracing and then just unleashing hell on them, sending them flying from the front line. So that's rather unfortunate for me, but in the end I think I'll be able to get some good engagements when I start supporting them over here with my Demigryph Knights, realizing my front line needs a lot of help. Over here I leave this Greatsword in the flank over here because I realize he has another unit of Chaos Knights that might be able to start doing some rear charge. So if they try and attack my Greatswords and get stuck into combat, they don't have armor piercing damage, and my Greatswords would be able to do some pretty good work against them. Over here you can see that these Greatsword units are going to get pulled in against this Chaos Warrior with Great Weapon, and I'm going to go ahead and cast Occam's Mind Razor on these guys, and they're going to get an absolutely massive damage buff as I pull them in. We both get a charge off, and then the melee brawl begins between these 2 units, and my units are absolutely going to put the hurt on these guys because of that huge buff of that Occam's Mind Razor. So that's going to allow me to win this engagement. Over here, you can see that Karl Franz came in with Weisson's Wild Form and Deadly Onslaught. They both missed the charge, sadly, and Sigvald says, oh shit, get out of here, and he absolutely just gets tripped up by the Amber Wizard, goes straight for the feet, makes him do a front flip, and they catch him. Karl Franz is going to be pulled back in here any moment now with that 502 weapon strength currently. We'll check back on him momentarily. You can see in the front line that these Chaos Knights are doing absolute work against all my swordsmen, able to pull in those, oh god, and there it is. Look at this. this right now, folks. 694 weapon strength on Karl Franz. Sadly, the Weisson's wild form wore off, or he'd be up in the 700s with that 22% extra weapon strength. But this is just going to be such a bad time for poor Sigvald. As you can see, Karl got in there for just a few moments, and he himself is actually already down to half HP. This is just such a sad day for poor Sigvald. Right here, you can see him trying to stand off and hold back the Emperor of the Empire, but it's just not going to be a good day for him. Each hit that he lands is just going to be devastating. Over here, I pull in the Amber Wizard with his high armor-piercing damage being on the Griffin mount and start trying to take out these Chaos Knights because they're going to be doing such good work against my Empire infantry that I just need them off the field as fast as possible. Over here, sadly, my Altdorf Gryphites got mismicroed. They're trying to finish off these Chaos Knights before they could come back to the fight and were caught by Chaos Warriors with great weapons. So that was some poor play on my part. However, over here, these Chaos Knights got stuck in on these great swords, and I upgraded them with the Weisson's Wild Form, giving them plus 30 armor. So they're up to 125 armor and plus 22 weapon strength. So sadly, these Chaos Knights are not going to be able to do much, especially while being chased down by the Amber Wizard. Over here in the back, Karl still trying to lay down the smack on Sigvald. So Papa Karl's trying to come in real hard and get the charge off on him, and you're going to see that he's going to get another big hit on him. Another 600 HP gone, or 400, I'm sorry. And then you can see another hit on him, taking off another 300 HP. Sadly, though, it was absorbed a little bit by the Chaos Warriors with great weapons, absorbing some of that splash damage. So Sigvald does manage to pop through on the other side and starts running away. And he just says, I need to survive this. If my troops want to live and their morale needs to stay up. Over here, you can see that my Sigmar sons are actually able to soak up the attacks of 4 units right here, one actually being terror routed, even though Karl Franz is nowhere near them. Over here, the fight's starting to look a little bit desperate. Several units are on these weaker units of my swordsmen and my great sword, so I start pulling in these great swords for a rear charge, and I pull in my Grey Wizard for some extra added damage, and I'm trying to finish off these damn Chaos Knights with my Amber Wizard. So they rout from the field, and these Chaos Warriors are just nowhere near the fight, chasing just one unit of Altdorf Gryphites, so they're not going to be in play for anything anytime soon. You can see these units are terrified. The morale of these guys are just going to break anytime soon here. There they go right there, just surrounded by these two great swords, as well as my wizard and swordsman. There's just too much for them. Over here you can see the Chaos Spawn tries to come in on Karl Franz, who's getting a little bit low because I don't have any healing, sadly, today against the Chaos Warriors, but with all the damage from my 2 wizards and their spells, I was hoping to be able to just power through before I lost my general here, and I was getting so scared right here. I was like, please, Karl, get out. I was force pathing him so hard. I was just spam clicking so much. I was like, I just need you out. Please, Karl, please. Over here, the Amber Wizard tries to take out Sigvald one last time. He actually doesn't get any damage off, but sends him flying and is going to land, and pretty soon that's going to be the end of poor Sigvald right here as the Amber Wizard comes in and is going to be able to get a couple good hits off and finish him off quite soon. And here it's just a giant melee right here. I have the Demigryph Knights with halberds able to put in their armor-piercing damage, surrounded by infantry to take up some of the damage from these Chaos Warriors with great weapons, and they're going to be able to do absolutely punishing damage. And over here, the Scion of Slaanesh finally massacred by my Ember Wizard. So Slaanesh pretty unhappy about the display of Sigvald the Magnificent today, so unfortunately for him, my opponent realized that he had nothing that really could beat any of my units anymore. Karl Franz over here was in such good shape, and his items were about to come off a cooldown, and he was about to have those ridiculous buffs again. And then this Amber Wizard over here able to come in and start doing terror and rear charging, and then my Demigryph Knights with halberds were going to be able to focus down these Chaos spawn very quickly, and chain routing would have ensued quite soon. So my opponent, politely folded his cards, as you would say. He went ahead and sportsmanlike just conceded the fight and went ahead and allowed me to win. So as you can see right here, my greatswords were able to outperform against his great weapons quite handily, I would say, because of that added magic, able to put off the Weisson's Wild Form or Occam's Mind Razor on the 2 units that I had on the right side, and able to do quite good damage against him. In the front line, his Chaos Marauders did do pretty good against my swordsmen. However, they just didn't have the armor to be able to last and prolonged melee combat against swordsmen who were backed up by several quite strong units, being the Amber Wizard, Karl Franz, and these Demigryph Knights with halberds. Sadly, though, as you can see, these Chaos Knights, the ones that got engaged initially against my Royal Altdorf Gryphites, were absolutely massacred, and that was so sad. I felt so bad for my opponent that I saw them. If I hadn't have seen them, the fight could have probably gone any direction. he might have been able to get off some really advantageous rear charges and send several of my units fleeing, and without healing I probably might not have been able to bring them back to the fight. So unfortunately for my opponent, that didn't play out in his favor, but good play on his part, and I'll hopefully see you online on the ladder again, Dr. Swiggy. So good to you, and if y'all like what y'all saw today, go ahead and leave me a big old thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and leave any comment in the comment section to help criticize me on what you'd like to see or what might make this a better viewing experience for all of you. So I'll catch you all later, guys. Have a great day.